Hello everybody! I just finished my blind playthrough of tiering Saga, and I will be making a tier list based on my experience of all the characters. Heavy spoilers for the game if you haven't played it yet. I highly recommend to play it blindly. Uh, it's winnable when you're blind. Okay, so let's start with Runan. Runan he's a pretty weak lord, even after promotion. He's really hard to get kills for. It's hard to give him kills, you know. He does no damage. He always gets hit, but like, he's not the worst unit. So I give him a C. His charisma bonus is kinda nice, but charisma is pretty weak in this game. Holmes. He's dodges everything, starts pretty high level, and well, he's just really great, right? He's a solid archer, can kill everything. You send him at there are pretty good bows in the game, so he was definitely like one of the strongest character in his army. I'll give him an S tier. The Green Knight, uh, he's kind of he's not bad, he's usable, but I immediately switched to the the other knights you get are just better than him. So yeah, he's not like super great, but he's not super bad either. I haven't really used him that much, but I guess if you use him, he does have potential. He's better than Runa, so B tier. Kreis, the Red Cavalier, or Purple Cavalier, he is basically the same. C tier, B tier, I mean, B tier, yeah. Kate, she's pretty cool. She's a cool unit. I really like her because she's both a sword unit, and a ranged unit. But even though I used her, she kinda didn't do much. So C tier. Sasha, she is. Which one of these is Sasha? This one, I think. Okay, so Sasha is like super useless early game, but when she becomes a Pegasus, she becomes more usable. You can position her for charisma bonuses, which I didn't really use. I just love using Pegasus Knights. But even as a Pegasus Knight, she's like super underwhelming. I was constantly feeding her kills, but like she just doesn't level strength, you know, classic Pegasus Knight problem. But you can make her work, I guess. C tier, and the charisma bonus is nice. Next is Esther. Esther is basically just a knight, but better than Kreis and Asbel, or whatever the green knight's name is. I use her a lot. She is not really that survivable. She dies kinda easily. Early game, definitely, and even in the late game, she can die to a few hits. But I liked using her, and she was pretty strong in my army, so A tier. Raffin. This guy is absolutely goated. Not only does he come, not only is he basically a Jagan when he joins at level 7, he can kill basically anything in the chapter he joins, and later he even promotes to a Wyvern Knight. And his story is also really good, so I definitely put him in S tier. He's one of the most goated units. What makes him really good, better even than Nanon, is that he can use spears, lances, even when he is dismounted. So in late game, when you're in the inside chapters in the fire labyrinth, in the labyrinths, I gave him the brave spear, the brave lance, and he was absolutely shredding everything he came across. So yeah, that's why he's in S tier. He just kills everything, he survives everything. Yeah, just super useful unit. Next, let's rate the Jagan of the game, Garo. He's a Jagan. He's really strong early game, and even late game he does stand up. He does have a little bit problem with accuracy, but he was definitely useful. Even though he does fall off late into the game, you just get slightly better units than him. but he's definitely good. I would use him again. A tier. Next, Entei. You know, she's a healer. Not much to say. Just healers are always nice, even though they are not that useful in this game. A tier, just because the utility is just useful. Actually, no, B tier, because it's for beverage. Average. B for beverage. Next, the red-haired girl. Julia. She is a really good swordsman. Yeah, if you level her up, she becomes pretty good. Just a standard good swordsman. Nothing much to say. A tier. Martel. Martel is really nice. She's basically a better Sasha as a Pegasus Knight. She still isn't that good, but it's B tier, definitely. Better than Sasha, solid Pegasus Knight. Just generally useful. Next, Nanon. Nanon is the most goated unit in the game. I managed to promote him in Chapter 3, and yeah, after Chapter 3 he was carrying my entire playthrough. So whenever there was anything I couldn't deal with, I would just send Nanon at it, and he would save the day. He was like one of the only units that could reliably deal with the classic Kaga ballista walls. So yeah, definitely one of the best units in the game. I would even put him in his own tier if I could. In fact, I think that is exactly what I will do. He's just that much better than all of your units. Next, let's Marui, the first mage you get. He's not that good. His personal tomes are like strong, but his Excalibur is not good as the ones that were in previous games. The crit chance is kinda low. The damage isn't that good. I was like he's useful, but his tomes are nothing special. He's just a solid mage. Guess I would put him on B tier. No, he's a good unit, a solid mage, a standard mage, but he's nothing like extra special. Next, let's judge this X-Man you get. Bart. Uh, Bart is again just your average X unit. Nothing special. I didn't use him that much. He didn't seem that good, so I'll just put him in C tier. Plum. She was. I kinda didn't use her that much. You don't really need more than one healer, and I already had Entei, so I didn't really use her. She's nice to have, I guess, but her magic is low. She doesn't really survive anything if you accidentally put her in range. I'll put her in D tier. Although, yeah, D tier. She's just not that useful. Tom, on the other hand, he's also kinda not very useful. Mainly because of his movement range, you know. Ballisticians have really low move. If you deploy him, he just doesn't get anywhere. I managed to accidentally deploy him on the beach map with Runan, and he was actually super useful there because he and Ananon blocked off the southern passage where the reinforcements show up, so I didn't have to deal with them. And Tom is just so tanky that he wasn't taking any damage from the reinforcements, so Nanon was able to kill everything basically. So that's kind of useful if you have like a choke point and wanna choke it out, but he just doesn't kill anything. His damage is just so low, and his movement also is so low that he doesn't even get anywhere. I'll put him in D tier. Next we have Shiva. No. Veiga. We have Veiga. Veiga is also a pretty cool swordsman. His sword, the special sword he has, the Loptir Fang. It is basically the Loptir Fang. I don't know what it is actually called. It's really useful. It halves damage. That makes him really tanky. It's also effective against monsters, which is super useful late game. That makes him definitely better than Julia, but not really. He's not really a tier above her. He's definitely more useful thanks to the sword, but other than the personal weapon, they're basically the same, I think. So A tier. Next, we have Shiva. Shiva is kinda garbage, honestly. The only thing that makes him good is his personal sword, the Dulalan, which makes him basically immortal. but it has only 50% hit rate, so he's going to miss everything. He's like, he was totally hyped up by Julia, that he's like way better than Vega, but he's just kind of garbage, a big disappointment. Like by the end game, the sword is really good, because you can just put him in range and bait, and he will not die. But early game, he's kind of garbage. If you level him up, he kind of becomes good, I guess. I was using him, but he will... I feel like he will always be worse than Vega and Julia. So only B tier. Next we have this guy. It's one of the 4 units that you can choose in after chapter 1. I did not choose this guy, so I'll put him in 0. Not recruited. Next we have Shiva, was kind of garbage. But Xeno, on the other hand, is also like really goated, even better than Julia, I would have to say. Now, I did invest in him a lot. I gave him the Monster Slayer skill, so that was pretty useful when we started fighting monsters. He carried me through the first Morgul map. He was really good there. Yeah, I think he's super useful. I don't know if it's me investing in him that made him so good, but I really liked him, so I'll put him in S tier. Next, the Thief, D tier. Thieves are only good at opening chests, which can already easily be done by Homer, open doors, which Homer also does, and they can steal sometimes items from enemies, but problem is you have to get into a combat to be able to steal the items, and the thieves just don't survive the combat because they're so weak, so they're basically useless. They're kind of useful in Runan's story because Runan doesn't have the open chest skill, or sometimes you can use them to save a few turns when you don't want Homer to walk everywhere, but it's not really that useful. Thieves are kind of bad in this game. So I'll put this thief here as well, and the Narcus also in D tier. They just aren't really necessary, and you can also always get door keys or something if you really want to open a door. You can just deploy them for the map where you want to open a door, and they basically just suck up a deployment slot, but they don't really do anything other than opening doors, so yeah, D tier. Next, Katri. Yeah, she's another staff user like Ente, pretty average use. She can transform into a dragon, which makes her, I guess, more useful, so I put her into A. But I only realized you can actually use the ring to transform into a dragon in the map where Mausa shows up. No, in the map where Katri shows up. So, oh my god, where Cranion shows up. Yeah, when you're in the Lida Kingdom map, on the Lida Kingdom map, when you're fighting Cranion. So, and then I only used it on that map, and like one time later. It isn't actually that useful because she doesn't get XP, but it's a nice like lifesaver if you just need a dragon to tank for a few turns. So that definitely makes her more useful than Ente, but it's not like super S tier OP. Well, it is OP, but not actually that useful because your other units can usually handle everything the map throws at you. Just a solid A tier, but it's not like super special. Atrom is kind of like Xeno, except worse. He joins later, he's kind of weak, he just doesn't kill anything, he dies super easily, so you can't really level him up that well, and why would you use Atrom when you can use Xeno, right? So I just put Atrom in C tier. Now then this girl, she's basically like Atrom, but worse, so yeah, I don't remember her name, but she's in D tier as well. She also steals your resurrection orb, which is like super annoying, and you have to take it back from her. I'm not sure how the story plays out when you kill her, but if you don't have to rescue her in the 4th floor of the tower, if you kill her early, then it might actually just be better to kill her, so you don't have to go rescue her in that chapter to get the resurrection stone. You can just escape the map and resurrect any units, even her if you want, right? On the top of the tower. Next, let's judge Samson. He's also really goated. Is this Samson? Or is this Samson? I'm not sure. I think this is Samson. Samson is really good S tier. He's like a Myrmidon, except he uses X's. There are really good X's in the game. There's basically the Black Fang, but an X version, the same sort as Vega has. So that's pretty useful. You can put it on him and he'll kill basically everything and survive a lot of things as well. Super useful, super good unit, super cool lore as well. Samson lore. S tier definitely. This girl, Archer, super basic. Didn't really use her. She's super weak. Her story is kind of garbage. D tier. Then this girl, the Dire Thunder thrower. Ooh, she's pretty good, except her personality is kind of bad, and her stats are also bad. The only thing that makes her good is Dire Thunder. But even though I didn't level her up at all, she was still useful late game because Dire Thunder is just that good. So even though I really don't like her, I'll put her into A tier because she has really good just I want the thing that utility. Here, this unit, she's basically the same unit as Kate, Rufine's lover. Yeah, she's nothing special, she's basically the same unit as Kate, except she joins a bit later. I have no idea who this guy is, so I probably didn't recruit him. I didn't recruit this girl. Oh my god. I know who this guy is, but I did not recruit him. I don't know how you can recruit him. Man, I really wanted to use him now. Man, he just kind of disappeared in my playthrough. That's so weird. This guy, also didn't end up using him. Well, I don't even know who this is. Never saw this guy, so not recruited definitely. No idea who this girl is either. Okay, next unit. Zachariah? Oh, that's not Zachariah. That's this girl's knight. Yeah, he's kinda just a knight, you know, an armored knight. So low move, low attack. He's not that good. He's kinda garbage actually. I'll put him in D tier because these girls at least have ranged attacks, which they can use to get rid of harpies or something. This dude can't even do that. Zachariah, on the other hand, is actually like pretty good. He's definitely better than him. He comes with a silver sword, which is kinda nice. He's still just an armored knight, but he did have some utility. I'll put him in B tier. Next, Lionheart. He's a mounted archer and a swordsman, so that's pretty useful. He has mobility, he can snipe things. He has solid damage, A tier. Rebecca, if I remember her name correctly. She's really useful with her golem summoning staff that's like super goated on the map she comes in. That saved my skin. And it can save you a lot in later missions as well when you just need some meat shields. Like super useful. I know it's not a personal weapon, but I'll put her in S tier because she gives you basically the golem staff and it's just that useful. Next, one of the 6 warriors, the King of Veld. I forgot his name. He's goated. He basically kills everything. He doesn't have Kanto, which is a bit unfortunate. That makes him kind of worse than an Anon. Well, everybody's worse than Anon, but like even more worse than him. But he's still just really strong, better than Esther by quite a bit, by 1 tier, as you can tell, as you can see. Yeah, he's just really strong, so S tier. Master Yoda, he's again one of the 6 warriors, basically as strong as the King of Veld, but he doesn't have mounted, which is kinda bad for him, but at the same time a lot of the endgame maps are on foot only anyway, so it's not that helpful either. He's just really strong, S tier. This dude, he's one of Lionheart's soldiers, like no name, no story. Well, he does have a name, I just don't remember it. He's just a mounted archer, which might sound useful, but he's like super weak, so I never ended up using him. D tier. Frau, she's really good. A mounted, well, a Pegasus Knight, so she can fly, do stuff, utility. She has pretty solid damage. She levels up pretty well. A tier. Sun, Frau's friend, Knight of Canaan, promotes into a Black Knight, has Paragon, or gets Paragon. She's really good. She became better than Esther by the end game. If you just, well, you don't even need to feed her kills, cause she's not only strong enough to kill herself, but also has Paragon, so she doesn't even need kills to level up. Yeah, she's just has solid damage, solid defense, solid skills, S tier. She can just hold her own. Next, let's Merui. Merui. When I got him, I thought he was a good unit, but then when you end up using him, you realize that he totally has negative supports with all of your units and gives them like minus 50% hit rate, which I didn't know for like 10 chapters, so I was fighting at handicap because of him the whole time. I fed him a few stat boosters before I realized that was even the case. So D tier, because like he could be potentially useful, but he just debuffs your whole army, so it's not really worth using him. Next, this wizard girl, Beaver. Beaver is kind of bad when she joins. She does have a nice personal spell, Starlight, I think. It's pretty good. It kills anything. It's again one of the I want that enemy dead unit. You probably want to level her up because she gets a pretty good global spell when her brother joins. But on her own, she isn't actually that nice. I guess she's just an average mage. The only thing that makes her good are her personal spell books, but even her personal tomes aren't actually that good. So, yeah, B tier. Her Aura Rain, is like, it kinda looks useful, but it doesn't really kill. It just weakens most enemies, and the enemies then just get healed up by the enemy bishop staffs anyways, physics staffs anyways. So it's not really that it never feels worth using the aura spell. It's only good pretty much when there are a lot of monsters on the map, and then you just hope for crits. Or maybe if you level her up, so she has a lot of magic, she can actually like kill something with the aura spell. Otherwise, it's not that good. Her brother, on the other hand, comes with a 3 range tome, which is just immediately more useful. His tome also gives plus 10 defense, so he's immediately more survivable on the front lines. He can kill things without retaliation. His Sunflame spellbook also is just really strong. So if you want a unit to delete it, you just send this guy at it, and he just kills it. Super useful. He's a bit fragile, so I wouldn't always use him. Well, it's always a bit risky to put him on the front lines, but he's pretty good, so I put him in A tier. He also gets the Meteor Tome, and that is really nice for sniping any other units. Any units you need to kill. Then this girl, oh yeah, that is Crisis Girlfriend. I just recruited her and then never ended up using her because I already had a team. So I don't really know how good she is, but when she joined, she was pretty weak, just like Christ, because I also didn't end up leveling him up, so I'll just put her into D tier. But I never even used her, not even once, so I really don't know her potential. Next, let's judge the Witch. The Witch is pretty good. Never really ended up using her Nosferatu. I just gave her some lightning spells, and she was able to kill other witches in one round, so that was pretty nice. She isn't really that strong, survivable, or anything really, but her mobility is really good, so you can use her to teleport items around and just snipe some out of the way units. You can do some pretty clutch moves with her. I really like the teleportation ability. It's one of my favorite abilities, to be able to teleport. So I'll put her in A tier. She's definitely not S tier, but her utility is really great. Next, this girl. She's super useful. She comes with the warp staff, which means you can immediately skip the fire shrine, which I did. And you can also, it really helps in the final mission. I would not have been able to win the final mission without her, so definitely S tier. She has the Dispel Staff, Exercise Staff, which is real nice when you're dealing with a lot of monsters. Again, I only ended up using it in the final chapter, but it was really good in the final chapter. Yeah, definitely S tier. The staffs are epic, and it's just a really great unit. Rene, that's her name. Rene, yeah. This girl, the Pegasus Knight of Salia. I think she, Frau, and Martel have a triangle attack, but I never got these 3 units in the same army, so I'm not sure if that's actually the case or how useful it is. You might want to take that into account when... I don't know if you should take that into account when judging them, but the triangle attack, it's like really cool. I would really like to use it, but it's probably not actually that useful in practice, so I would be ignoring it for this rating. But she's really good. She comes with the Salia Spear, which is super useful. Unfortunately, by the end game, she's basically stuck indoors, which, you know, is not really good for a Pegasus rider, but she's still pretty useful, so A tier. This guy, I don't know who that is. I really don't know who that is. This might actually be Samson, but I don't know. I'll just put him in, not recruit it, because I don't remember this unit at all. This unit, I probably didn't recruit him because I don't remember him. I don't remember this unit either. Actually, she's a blue-haired. I don't know if she's a Pegasus. If she's a... She does not look like a Pegasus. Like, I have actually no idea who this unit is. I also don't know what this unit is. Don't remember her at all. I mean, she... Oh! No! I know who this is. This is again one of the most goated units in the game. Epic, lore, gameplay, integration. She literally cannot kill anybody. She will always leave them at 1 HP. Because she's like a pacifist. She doesn't... Well, not a pacifist. She just doesn't kill anybody. But she's really useful. She joins with a Brave Bow, which you instantly waste in the first chapter. She joins in because she just always procs Adept, which is like not really that good. But the point is she's really strong. She never falls off even by the end game. Even if she doesn't level up any stats, she can basically kill anything. Well, but she doesn't kill anything. But she's really good at setting up kills for her weaker units, which is really good in the early and mid game. So yeah, that's pretty good. She also kills monsters. She does actually kill monsters. She doesn't let monsters live with 1 HP. So she's pretty good at in the monster killing chapters, especially against dragons because they fly, and she has effective damage against them. She does actually fall off by the late game, not because she starts missing or she dies or her damage is not good enough, but because you don't really need units to set up kills for other units. You just want your units to kill the enemy. So her utility becomes less useful in that sense, but she can still help damage and the enemies, so it's not even like that bad really. Next to this guy, he's the archer you can choose in after chapter 1, so I didn't end up choosing him. This guy, the same deal as him, didn't end up choosing him. This guy, I don't remember him at all, so I probably missed his recruitment. And now the 3 units you get in the last chapter of the game. Oh! That's Zeke! Or Zeal, or whatever his name is. He's the Remorseful Knight or something. I remember him. He was in chapter 4 or chapter 5. Yeah, he shows up in chapter 5 in the Mars shrine, and I literally saw him, right? I see a knight. He's like Remorseful Knight. I'm like, this is a recruitable unit if I've ever seen one. And then I kill him because I tried to talk to him with Runan or something. I don't remember. That didn't work. So I was like, the main lords can recruit him. That means he's unrecruitable. I bet he's like a super secret boss like the Black Knight from Path of Radiance or something that will show up later. And then I just kill him with Narun. So I thought nothing of it. I guess I was just mistaken. Maybe I just missed the recruitment, but it's not a big deal. Then in the first to last chapter, in the chapter before the last chapter, he shows up as the final boss. And he has the same title, Remorseful Knight. And I'm like, damn, that was... what a coincidence. He has the same title as the guy from the chapter 5. And now I realize, as I see him here, you could have totally recruited him, man. You could have totally recruited him there, probably. But yeah, I didn't recruit him, so I can't really rate him. He did look pretty cool, but he's probably a goated unit, honestly. But I didn't end up using him, so can't really judge. Next we have the teleporting guy. Oh my god. The last chapter. That was hell. So first of all, I only realized you could open your doors yourself on like round 8 when I teleported with him in front of when I realized he had a key. Okay, and then I only realized on like round 17 that there are on the top right corner that some of the units drop door keys. So two of my armies, or this guy, and Holmes's army were literally stuck behind the bars because I had no door keys at all, and I didn't know that those specific enemies dropped door keys. What makes this even worse, right? Because I wasn't looking for any drop keys because this dude had like a companion, and the companion said, "Wait here. I'm going to look for another way in." Right? So I'm like, okay, this is a scripted event. You're supposed to wait in your cell until the girl returns and opens the door for you. So I was like, not even looking to get out on my own, right? And that's just bad scripting of the game. It's just bad. The game just directs you badly in the final chapter. Luckily, I did have a save state, so I was able to go to round 11, kill those guys, and to defeat the boss in time. Because otherwise, I'd have actually had to restart the whole chapter, and that would have been so annoying. For real, for real. Rene also had a teleport staff, warp staff, so I was actually able to do some stuff on the map. Yeah. Anyway, this dude is pretty good. He has a weak tome. The tornado, I never ended up using it, so it's not really that useful. Teleport ability is super good for opening doors and for moving items around. And yeah, just a solid unit, really good for the end game. Yeah, these two, I only use them against the boss, but they seemed solid enough, so I guess I put them in A. And that's it. That is my tier list of my blind playthrough through Saga. Thanks for watching, and bye!